We often hear how drinking water first thing in the morning is one of the best habits you can have. And in many ways, that's true. But there's something people don't always talk about: how morning hydration can actually become harmful if it's done the wrong way. It sounds surprising, doesn't it? I mean, it's just water. But the truth is, as we get older, our bodies don't respond the same way they used to. What worked in your 30s or 40s doesn't always feel good in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. That's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because your body needs a little more care, a little more awareness. You've got a lifetime of experiences behind you. Your heart, your kidneys, your digestion. They've all been through a lot. So when you wake up in the morning, your body is in a delicate state. Hormones are shifting. Blood pressure is adjusting. Your stomach and muscles are still waking up. And if we don't handle that moment gently, even something as simple as water can backfire. In this video, we're going to walk through 5 common mistakes that people often make when drinking water first thing in the morning. Most folks don't even realize they're making them. And by the end of this video, you'll not only know what to avoid, but you'll also feel more confident about how to take care of your body in those first few minutes of the day. Now, before we dive in, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from? Comment below and share your city. I always enjoy hearing from you. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips like these. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. Mistake number 1. Drinking ice-cold water on an empty stomach. Let me ask you this. Have you ever taken a big gulp of cold water in the morning and suddenly felt your stomach twist a little? Or maybe a chill down your chest? Some folks even feel lightheaded or get a headache shortly after. And most of the time, they just shrug it off or think it's something else. But here's the truth. Drinking ice-cold water first thing in the morning, especially on an empty stomach, can be a shock your body isn't prepared for. You see, when we sleep, our bodies enter a relaxed, healing state. Our organs slow down, our digestion goes quiet, and our blood vessels become slightly constricted. Then morning comes, and instead of easing into the day, we throw down a glass of freezing cold water. That's like hitting the brakes while the engine is still warming up. It causes your stomach muscles to tighten, your blood vessels to narrow even more, and your system to go on high alert. And when you're older, your body doesn't bounce back as quickly from that kind of stress. Now, back when you were younger, cold water might have felt refreshing, maybe even energizing. But as we age, our metabolism slows down. Our circulation gets more sensitive, and our internal thermostat just doesn't handle extremes the same way. So cold water can actually end up making you feel worse instead of better. Not because water is bad, but because the temperature is just too harsh for your system at that time of day. Let me tell you about someone named Eleanor. She's 76, sharp as a tack, and used to love her morning glass of cold water right out of the fridge. She said it helped clear her throat and wake her up. But then, she started noticing that her hands would feel cold, her stomach would cramp up a little, and her digestion just felt slow all morning. It wasn't until her doctor suggested switching to room temperature water that things changed. Within a week, her mornings felt calmer, smoother, and her stomach didn't feel like it was tying itself in knots anymore. That small change, just letting the water sit out a bit or using lukewarm water, made all the difference. And it's a great reminder that what used to work for us doesn't always keep working forever. Our bodies deserve a little more gentleness now. They've been carrying us for decades. The least we can do is offer them water that doesn't feel like a slap in the face first thing in the morning. So, if you've been waking up and reaching for that ice-cold glass, maybe give room temperature water a try. See how your body feels after a few days. You might be surprised how much better your mornings start to feel. Mistake number 2: drinking water too fast or in big gulps. Now, I know how tempting it is to wake up, grab that glass, and just chug it down. You're thirsty. Maybe your mouth feels dry, and it feels good to get it over with. But here's the thing: drinking water too fast, especially in those first few minutes after waking up, can throw your body off balance. And most people don't even realize it's happening. See, when we first wake up, our body is still transitioning. Your heart rate is gently rising. Your blood pressure is adjusting. Your stomach lining hasn't quite woken up yet. Some people even feel a weird flutter in their chest, and they don't understand why. But the real issue isn't the water itself. It's not just what we drink, it's how fast we drink it. When we gulp down water too quickly, our bodies don't get enough time to properly process it. The kidneys jump into overdrive to manage the sudden flood, and that rapid shift in fluid can throw off your electrolyte balance. For older adults, whose systems are more sensitive, this can lead to feeling off for hours afterward. Let me tell you a quick story. Walter, a 72-year-old retired coach, used to drink a full bottle of water the moment he woke up, before even getting out of bed. He thought he was being disciplined and starting the day right. But some mornings, he'd feel unexpectedly dizzy. Not every day, but often enough that it became a concern. After discussing it with his doctor, they figured it out. The issue wasn't the water, it was how quickly he was drinking it. He wasn't giving his body time to adjust. So Walter made one simple change. He started sipping his water slowly, spreading it out over 15 to 20 minutes. No more rushing, no more guzzling. And just like that, the dizziness disappeared. His mornings felt easier, and his energy stayed more steady. No need for new medications or fancy routines, just a more mindful way of hydrating. So here's something to consider. Your body doesn't want a flood first thing in the morning. It wants a gentle stream. Take your time. Sit up. Breathe. Sip. Let your body receive the water instead of being overwhelmed by it. It's not a race. It's a small act of care. If you've been chugging water just to get it over with, try slowing down tomorrow. You might be surprised how much better you feel. Sometimes the tiniest shift makes the biggest difference. Mistake number 3: drinking from plastic bottles left out overnight. This one might catch you off guard, especially if you like to keep a water bottle by your bedside. It seems like a smart habit, right? Easy, convenient, always within reach. But here's what most people don't realize. Drinking from plastic bottles that have been sitting out overnight, especially in a warm room, can expose your body to chemicals you don't want. It may look like plain water, but the plastic can leach substances into the water as it sits, especially with time and heat. One of the most well-known concerns is BPA, a chemical often found in older or cheaper plastics. Even if your bottle says BPA-free, there are other chemicals in plastics that can behave in similar ways. When these chemicals are released, they can act as endocrine disruptors, which means they mess with your body's natural hormones. As we age, hormone balance becomes even more delicate. You might already be managing blood pressure, blood sugar, or thyroid levels. When foreign chemicals sneak into your system, even in tiny amounts, they can make regulation harder. You might not feel it right away, but over time, some people notice feeling more tired, more bloated, more irritable, or just off, without knowing why. Take Stanley, for example. He's 78 and always made sure to stay hydrated. He'd fill a plastic bottle from the tap, leave it on his nightstand, and sip it every morning. Seemed like a good habit, until he started experiencing frequent headaches, strange digestion, and waking up tired even after a full night's sleep. His diet hadn't changed. His doctor didn't find anything wrong. Eventually, a nutritionist helped him connect the dots. The plastic bottle was the problem. It was being reused, left out, and sitting near a warm lamp. Stanley made a small change. He switched to a glass bottle and started pouring fresh water each morning. Within a few weeks, the headaches faded. His energy came back. He felt more like himself again. No one's saying one sip of water from a plastic bottle will ruin your health. But if you do it daily, over weeks or months, those small exposures can add up. Your liver, kidneys, and hormones all have to work overtime to process those chemicals, and that extra load matters, especially with age. So if there's a plastic bottle on your nightstand right now, maybe it's time for a little upgrade. Choose glass or stainless steel. Fill it fresh each morning. It's a simple shift, and it could give your body just a bit more peace. Mistake number 4. Drinking water on a very full or very empty stomach right after medication. Let's take a moment to think about your morning routine. You wake up, maybe take your meds, and chase them down with a full glass of water. Seems like the right thing to do. After all, your doctor likely told you to take those pills with water. But what's not always explained is how much water you should drink, when to drink it, and whether your stomach should be full or empty. These details matter more than most people realize, especially for older adults. Drinking a large amount of water right after meds on an empty stomach can irritate your gut lining. On the other hand, drinking too much water on a full stomach can dilute your stomach acid, slow digestion, and even interfere with how the medicine is absorbed. Let's talk about Henry. He's 74, and he takes his blood pressure pills first thing every day, followed by a tall glass of water. But he began experiencing bloating, acid reflux, and a heavy feeling in his stomach. Not to mention the occasional nausea. Turns out he was drinking too much water too fast, on an empty stomach. After speaking with his pharmacist, Henry made a change. He now takes his pills with just a few sips of water, then waits 10 to 15 minutes before having a light breakfast and sipping more water slowly afterward. That small adjustment made a big difference. The discomfort vanished, and his digestion improved. So here's what you can do. Check with your doctor or pharmacist about how each of your medications should be taken. Then space things out a bit. Sip a little water with your pills, give your body a few minutes, then eat and hydrate slowly. It's not about drinking less, it's about drinking wisely. It can actually make a big difference. Here's why. Drinking too much water too quickly, right after taking your morning medication, especially on an empty stomach, can make you feel sick. You might get a wave of nausea, feel bloated, or even have heartburn. It can upset your stomach lining or mess with how the medicine works in your body. Now flip the situation. If you've just eaten a big breakfast and then take your pills with a large glass of water, that can also be a problem, especially for meds that are supposed to be taken on an empty stomach. Your digestive system is more sensitive than we think. In the morning, your body is still adjusting, hormones are shifting, acid levels are waking up, and everything's getting into balance. So if you suddenly add a bunch of water and pills, your body might push back, like it's saying, "Hold on, I wasn't ready for that." Let me share Margaret's story. She's 80, been on thyroid medication for years. Her routine? Take the pill, drink a big glass of water, wait a bit, and then eat breakfast. Sounds fine, right? But suddenly, she started feeling queasy in the mornings. No changes in her medication, no new foods. Her blood work looked normal, but the nausea wouldn't go away. Finally, her doctor asked about how she was taking her pills. Turns out she was drinking too much water too fast, right after her pill. Her stomach wasn't handling it well, so she tried a simple change. She took the pill with just a small sip of water, just enough to swallow it, and then waited about 45 minutes before having breakfast. The nausea went away. Her next blood test? Even better than before. That little change made a big difference in how her body felt and how the medicine worked. So here's something to think about. If you've been feeling off in the mornings, maybe queasy, foggy, or just uncomfortable, it might not be your medication or your age. It could be how you're taking your medication. Try smaller sips. Give your stomach a bit of space. Don't flood it with water and pills right after waking up. Let your body ease into the day. Sometimes the key isn't doing something new. It's doing something more gently. Alice is 69, sharp, independent, and always looking for ways to make her mornings easier. She came across something online about intermittent fasting, so she gave it a try. No breakfast, just water until noon. At first it seemed great. She lost a little weight and thought it was working. But after a few weeks, something felt off. Her mood dipped. Her memory got foggy. She'd repeat things without even realizing it. Her daughter noticed the changes and encouraged her to visit the doctor. The checkup showed no big health issues. Alice just wasn't giving her brain enough fuel in the morning. It was like trying to drive a car on an empty tank. So she made one small change. Instead of skipping breakfast completely, she started having something light, a boiled egg, a slice of toast, maybe some fruit. That was it. And it worked. Her energy came back. She felt more alert, more balanced, more like herself again. That tiny adjustment brought back a clarity she hadn't felt in months. So here's the takeaway. Don't assume that less is always better, especially when it comes to your morning meal. Yes, water is important, absolutely, but your body also needs fuel, real food to get going. A little protein, a bit of fiber, something to hold you up. So your mind stays sharp and your body feels steady. If you've been skipping breakfast, thinking it's helping, maybe tomorrow, try adding something small. A handful of nuts, a little oatmeal, even a smoothie. You might be surprised how much better your whole day feels when your body gets what it's been asking for. It's kind of amazing how something as basic as water, something we've been drinking our whole lives, can start to feel different as we get older. Not because water changed, but because we did. Our bodies get wiser, more sensitive. They start to whisper instead of shout. And they want us to listen, just a little more than we used to. That's really what this conversation has been about. Not fear, not strict rules, just awareness. Learning to notice the small things that quietly shape how we feel each day. Because when your mornings feel off, when you're bloated, anxious, foggy, it doesn't always mean something's wrong with you. Sometimes your routine just needs a gentle tweak. Maybe tomorrow, you skip the ice-cold water and go for something room temperature. Maybe you take smaller sips instead of chugging. Maybe you ditch the old plastic bottle and try a fresh glass one. Or maybe, and this might be the most important shift, you pair that water with a little breakfast. Give your body the energy it deserves. And if any part of this spoke to you, if something clicked or made you pause, that's a beautiful thing. It means you're still learning, still growing, still choosing to care for your health. That mindset, that's powerful. Thank you for spending a little time with me today. Try one of these tips tomorrow and just see how you feel. Trust your body. It'll let you know. And if you found this helpful, feel free to share it with someone you care about. A friend, a sibling, a neighbor. You never know who might be silently going through the same thing. And if you'd like more honest, gentle health chats like this, go ahead and follow or subscribe. Let's keep learning together. Because your comfort matters, your clarity matters, you matter. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you again soon.